Yo, what's up, guys? Sorry, I am later than I thought. I rolled out of the house at like 11:30 to do this. There was a bunch of packages sitting on my porch, so I had to take them in the house. They weren't even for me. Delivered on a Sunday, weren't for me, so I don't have any packages to open to show you guys. Just some stuff. Uh, my wife and daughter are throwing an engagement party. My 21-year-old daughter got engaged. Yay! My only child, my daughter, is engaged to be married. How should I think about that? But anyway, take that stuff in the house for them. It's Sunday. Kickoff in about an hour for the NFL. As you can see, I'm wearing my teal in hopes that my Dolphins can pull off an upset this week. Hold on a second. Scratch that. My Dolphins have already won. How about that? Who saw that coming? Vegas probably saw it coming. But I'm going to say that I had Lamar Jackson in a big fantasy league, big high dollar stakes league. And I'm like on the bubble of the playoffs. I mean, if the season was to end today, I'd be in the playoffs. But I'm like the team on the bubble. And I needed Lamar Jackson to have a good game for me. And go figure, my own team, my own favorite team, goes out and shuts down my fantasy quarterback to an extent. So, get torn between your favorite team and your fantasy team. As of right now, the Dolphins suck. So I would rather for my fantasy team to do well. So, question. This hobby that we're all in, it. Who does it belong to? To whom does it belong? Would be the proper way to phrase that, considering you're not supposed to end a sentence with a preposition. At least that's what my English teacher told me eons ago. And I sat down, I started thinking about this question and putting things together. And the more and more I came up with things, I was kind of like, it might work both ways. And I'm like, because this makes sense and this would fall into, this would answer it this way, but this makes sense. It would answer it this way. And I'm kind of like, does the hobby belong to us? We, like, generally speaking, and not we as an entire group. You could say we as an entire group, but also we broken down into the individuals of the group. Or do we belong to the hobby? Is the hobby this big, massive machine / universal force that we all belong to, and we're just forced to ride the waves of it, kind of like life, just forced to ride the waves of the hobby and go where it takes us? You believe in that type of thing. So you can kind of relate this to your favorite sports team. If you're a fan of the 2000 Patriots, you grew up watching the Tom Brady era, not the old school Patriots, because those old school Beantowners will be Patriot fans forever. But if you're a Tom Brady baby, I guess that's how we refer to the Tom Brady era. If you're a Tom Brady baby and you enjoyed all this Patriot success through the last, 19, 20 years, and he goes to the Bucs, and you're torn. Are you still a Patriots fan, or do you go with your favorite player of all time, become a Bucs fan? Do you secretly root for both? Well, what if they were to meet in the Super Bowl, the Patriots and the Bucs? Then who are you going with? You go with Brady, your all-time favorite? You go with your team. And there's no correct answer for that. It's whatever makes the individual happy. And you can relate that to the hobby. You can say, everybody does something different. Some people collect, some people flip, some people do both. Some people just want to make money, and that's fine because money makes them feel good. Some people are in it for the hunt, for the chase, for finding that item. Some people are in it for the thrill of the deal and completing a deal. Some people are into it for community and talking. Some people, what makes some people happy is driving to work in the morning and talking to people in the community. Go figure. I wouldn't be doing this right now if I didn't like it, if I didn't enjoy it. And I've done a bit of everything. And lately, I've really gotten in touch more so with my collector side. Yeah, I still have stuff for sale. On my slabs, I have a bunch of stuff listed up there. Not even going to tell you what it is, but I have a bunch of stuff listed. I'm still selling. And I look and I like a lot of the stuff you guys know that I like to buy, the oddball items, you know, I can just buy that stuff and I can be happy, keep to myself. Nobody pays attention to it. Well, a lot of that stuff that I like, Marvel stuff, and I'm not the only Marvel person. People have been collecting Marvel long before me, but Marvel stuff, rock and roll items, oddball odds and ends, skateboard stuff, that stuff's starting to go up in price, especially Marvel. And, you know, could I be sour about that and be like, oh, all of a sudden everybody wants to invest in Marvel, now I can't buy it anymore? Of course I could, but I'm not. Because that's the take that a lot of people had when investors and flippers came into the sports card hobby and started using it as a business. And business, that's a funny word, because if you think of the movie The Godfather, which I love The Godfather. Whenever something was going to happen between two people, between two characters, they would say it's not personal, it's only business. It's only business, it's not personal. When Tessio was going to try to have Michael Corleone whacked, he said, tell him I always liked him. This was only business. That's all it is. For some people, it's business, and that's fine. Because personally, they're not affecting my everyday life. Where was I headed with this? So, you know, I go on the other night, the Eagles are on the radio, not the football team, but the band. The band is way better than the football team. But I like this song. But I was surfing last night or 2 nights ago, and I found 4 rock and roll items, and I bought them right up. And after I bought them, you know what? I felt good. I felt excited. I was like, man, I can't wait to get these in the mail and add them to my collection. I don't even care what I spent on these, and I don't even care if they have any future value. When I buy stuff like that, that's it. You know, if I buy a modern day basketball card and I'm prospecting on a player, now I hope that that player does well and I can resell it. So there's 2 different ends of the spectrum. So I want to say, you know, in closing, before I got to go into work, it's kind of like the hobby belongs to the individual, and for the individual to make it what it is for themselves. You know, and when I say it belongs to that individual, it belongs to that individual, not as in one person holds power over all the hobby, even though Fanatics is trying to do that. But it belongs to the individual. It belongs to you. It belongs to that person over there. It belongs to him. It belongs to her. It belongs to, you know, whoever, and what they make out of it on their own. You know, how they feel, how it makes them feel at the end of the day. Because nobody can control how you feel at the end of the day except for yourself. And as long as you're doing what you love, you'll be happy at the end of the day. And the hobby, you know, could we belong to the hobby? Yes. Yes, because maybe we can't escape it. Maybe we like it so much that no matter what happens in the hobby, we'll always be there. You know, because we can't get away from it. You know, maybe we're addicted to it. You know, maybe, you know, if we stopped collecting, stopped buying, stopped investing, stopped watching, stopped doing, we would feel a hole inside of us. And in that aspect, we do belong to the hobby. So that's where I think it kind of runs together, where as an individual, you do it makes you happy and makes the hobby yours for you personally, but also ride the waves of what the hobbies become, you know, as it evolves and changes, you know, and you might want to adapt just so you don't sour on the hobby. Because we all know in the end, none of us want to leave it. You know, whether, you know, you might step away for a month, a year or 2, but you always come back. Just like the cliche always says, if you love something, let it go. And if it comes back, it was meant to be. And just like a lot of us collectors who, you know, were out in the 90s or in the early 2000s, left in the junk wax era and are back now. We're back because we love it. We're back because we're glad that it's back. We're glad that it's cool again. We're waiting for it. Anyway, you guys take from this whatever you want. I'm just babbling on. You guys might completely disagree with me, and you know what? That is absolutely okay, because you have the right to do that, because as an individual, the hobby belongs to you. All right, guys, I got to go to work. I don't know. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good Sunday. I hope your NFL team wins, because the Dolphins have already won, so I ain't got to worry about anybody beating me. All right, take it easy, guys.